welcome to the Shelly Studio. Today I'm doing the monthly art prompt challenge for April. That is the printout. I have posted a JPEG on my community page. You can snap a copy there if you want to play along. The colors are brick red, strawberry, and yellow. They don't look so good on my printout. I can't remember. I have the image here somewhere online, but remember, they're just inspiration. You know, you don't have to have exactly the color by its name or match it exactly. Mine for sure is not matched exactly. I use what I have, and if what I have is not quite it, that's okay. It's just getting you in the right direction. And this is just for fun. There are no rules. There's no art prompt challenge police. If you do play along, it would be really awesome if you tagged me. The easiest way to find images is if you tag me on Instagram. I don't know if you can tag on Facebook, but yeah, or leave me a comment. Let me know if you are playing along, and yeah. So I used that was a gel print. I used that as a background, and I was thinking I was going to turn the page and you'd see that whole background. Otherwise, I would have only used a small portion of it, but once I cut out my little frog, which is my cut something out of your page, I decided he was going to have to be glued down flat because he's too loosey-goosey. So, like I said, the colors are brick red, strawberry, and yellow. The words for inspiration were cat, fling, and frog. And they're just for inspiration. You don't have to use them all. I did not use fling. I couldn't work out how to do that one. I was thinking of having a cat, like, flinging a frog, but that was just too elaborate. I like to do all the fun painty bits, and I would have to draw that one. So I decided to paint around the frog, and I forgot my colors. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm using taupe. We need yellow, so I will go back and put yellow on there. And the art prompts, there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 prompts. And one of them was to glue something down. So I did that. And then I'm going to glue this on top of that. So I glue a lot of somethings down. And then the next one that I'm doing is cut a shape or word into your page. So I cut a frog into my page. And here I'm like, oh, what was I doing? Yeah, so we're going to add some yellow around this frog. So he will stand out against the red that is going to be behind him. I don't know, maybe the taupey color made the yellow more interesting. Less bright and intense. I don't know, this page ends up pretty bright and intense. It's been kind of a trend. I think the colors on my pages have been, for the first 3, now 4 months, I think they've been quite bold and bright. But I'm having a lot of fun with this art prompt challenge, and I hope if you are following along with it, you are enjoying it as well. Just remember, everything is just to help inspire, encourage, give you some ideas. I was thinking of gluing something down when I pulled out, I don't know if tissue paper is on the list of things. No. One of the prompts is glue something down, so we are gluing this. This is tissue paper that looks kind of like snake skin. And I don't know, I'll read you all the prompts, just in case you don't see the image. It is on my community page, posted on the 1st, and it's skip or drag brush, use non-dominant hand, cut a shape or word into your page, that's why I cut the frog in, glue something down, I've glued a lot of things down, turn the work upside down, add crayons or pencils, stamp, add scrapes, add one piece of ephemera. You know, I even have that blue piece of tape that tells me where my camera is not showing, and I still end up dragging my piece towards me further and cause it to be out of range of the camera. Sorry about that. So this is my red. This is counting for my brick red, and like I've said in the past, you don't need to match the colors exactly. My printout isn't exactly the colors that you see on the computer. That is my skipping or dragging a brush. We are dragging the brush across the paper with the red paint. Yeah, I did that, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to recover from that. So the next prompt that I'm following is add crayons or pencils. So I am using, well, they're supposed to count as gel crayons. They're actually tempera paint sticks, but they're crayon-like. They're crayon adjacent. So I picked pink, red, and yellow. So the pink is for my strawberry, and that is so bright. It's like neon. And then red, trying to kind of cover up a little bit of the drag marks that just are so, I don't know, this whole thing just ends up so bright. But that's okay. I really like it in the end. I'm working at getting a solid yellow around the frog so that it stands out better against the backdrop. So the next prompt I am doing is stamp, and I'm actually going to use, I brayer out some craft paint on my gel plate, and I'm just using a trivet that I got from the dollar store to make marks. This counts as stamping because I'm stamping it in there, just to make marks on the background. And I was going to do it again. I have, I made a texture plate. It's glue dots. I just dotted glue onto a cardboard, but it was too messy and uneven. Like, I do it for a while, but I don't like it. The whole thing looks so messy. I'm like, oh, I can't do it. So I decided to pull out a stencil, and I'm going to just stencil through it to get some even dots across the whole thing to try and kind of bring it together and make it feel a little less crazy. You'll have to tell me if you think it's less crazy after I put the dots in. How are you doing, by the way? I don't think I've asked. Are you having a good day? I hope you are. It's really nice here today. It's supposed to rain, but I haven't seen any yet. I am doing this voiceover the weekend before this goes up. So it's been a pretty nice weekend. If you hear kids yelling distantly in the background, it's my nephew's kids. They're over visiting their grandma, my sister. And they love coming over. I think it's because they can just yell at the top of their lungs and nobody yells back. And nobody gets after them. So they're in there playing video games on the big TV in the living room. So much fun. fact, they have a Star Wars game, and they were playing it last weekend. They came over and they were playing it with my sister and asking her all kinds of questions. She's like, I don't know. You'd have to ask Margelle. Ask Margelle. And so last night, they quizzed me up and down about Star Wars. It's like, I had recently watched a bunch of the Star Wars. Like, I was not caught up, but I had access, so I recently watched them, binge watched them, and so I had most of the answers they needed. My my one great nephew was like, "You're blowing my mind. Too much information." He's like, "How can you remember all that?" I'm like, "Well, I think I was 12 when Star Wars came out." I was telling my age. All right, so I put the frog over the background that I'd glued on, and I didn't feel like it was noticeable, so I went in with the tempera stick and added some of that brighter color. And now I'm using the Crayola creative marker in yellow to outline the frog again, just to make sure it's a solid yellow and none of that red or the gray stamping is interfering with the outline. Just want it to be emphasized. Okay, so once that's done, now it's time to put the cat in. And I just Googled, so this is just a Google image. It is not my own original image. Color-wise, yeah, but yeah, I can't claim that I created this particular image of this cat. But I think he turns out so cute. And I tried drawing him with chalk because I like, the pencil wasn't showing up. So I did black chalk, and then it wasn't working. I did white chalk, that wasn't working. So I just decided to go in with some gray paint and just go for it. Being brave, just went for it to paint this cat. And now the part where it says use your non-dominant hand, I'm sure I did in there somewhere because I'm ambidextrous, so I use both hands all the time. So I didn't really consciously go, okay, it's time to use my right hand. So I don't know if that's cheating. But that's what I did. And I'm sure the work was upside down at some point, wasn't it? I'm sure it was. That was on the list too. Oh, and so one of the other prompts is add scrapes. So as I'm putting this part down, I take a card and scrape down the paint to have it sort of blend into the background. So he's not solid all the way down, and there's not a solid line cutting him. He just sort of fades-ish into the background. You'll see it. I'm sure. You'll see me use the card and scrape on the paint. Right now I'm trying to figure out his face. So he's looking down at the frog. So you're kind of viewing him from below. Is kind of what I was thinking there. I don't know if I said, but if you're interested in seeing the other videos, they will be on a playlist in the description box below if you want to see them if you haven't seen them already. And see, here's where I start scraping. I do pull out a card here in a minute. and do a little bit more scraping. And I'm giving my cat yellow eyes. Does he look like he's looking down? Hopefully. Adding a little white to highlight. I've been using, I think it's called parchment. But I thought a little bit of white would help highlight, make him look more dimensional. More scraping. Add a little pink to his nose. And his ears. I'm going to try and fix his eye shape just a little bit using the Crayola Creative Marker in yellow. That just kind of helps a little bit. And I felt like that one eye was a little too small, so I made it a little bit bigger. And I outline it with a little bit of an orange color, Creative Marker, just to give it some difference. Then I decide, after darkening his pupils, I decide I like the illustrative look. So I am going to outline him because I think it looks good that way. And it helps him stand out from that really busy background. Give him some whiskers. Isn't he cute? Oh, I think he's so cute. Give him a little white in his eyes. So I've trimmed him up, and now we're just going to glue him down. And I did decide to glue him all the way down so that the frog is flat to the page and not have the little pieces curling up. And I'm using my trusty glitter glue. My bottle's almost empty. I do have some refill, so I'll have to refill it here soon. I just go all the way around the edges and just put a little bit in the middle area. But I went all the way around the frog so it would stay down. And there we go. That cat is eyeing that frog. So I get this all down, and then I'm like, have I hit everything? I think I hit everything. I couldn't remember if I actually turned it upside down to work on it. I'll have to go look at the playback. I'm sure it was upside down at some point. Yes, I did. I had it upside down when I put the pink on, right? I think so. Okay. So the ephemera felt weird, but I have this fake ephemera postcard, like the back of a postcard, so I stuck that on there as my bit of ephemera. And I found a quote, and the quote is, "What is the difference between a cat and a frog?" It says, "A cat has 9 lives, but a frog croaks every day." It's the best I could do. Finding a quote that included a frog and a cat. But that is the finishing touch on April. I hope you give it a try. It's so much fun. You never know what you're going to end up with. And thank you, 22 Club, for hanging in with me here. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.